Hello, and welcome to jasonnewland.com. My name's Jason Newland, and it's time for Trivia Tuesday. And Vinny going, "Ew, ew." It's a bit warm today. A little bit hot, isn't it, Vin? Eh? We went in the garden. All he wanted to do was... There's this... One of the neighbours has got one of those, like, disability buggy things. And it's kind of new to the garden. So, and it's got a cover on it. And Vinny is absolutely enthralled. It's like, wow. It's like a new kind of play box or something. And he wants to go inside and he wants to see what's underneath the cover. And it gets excited. And he's been out there every 3 times in a row. I took him out there and he's tried to get in there. Trying to get underneath the cover. But it's too hot out there. Bit too hot to be spending time out there. I got one window open, so there might be background sounds, which just the way it is, unfortunately. I can't do too much about that. Someone in the garden coughing. Not really much going on. Just drinking me water, keeping hydrated and all that good stuff. So please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. This is Let Me Bore You to Sleep. And Vinny is here by my side. Just chilling out. So what I'm going to do today is... what am I going to focus on? Vikings! That's a bit random, isn't it? A little bit random. Vikings. So, just to let you know, before I continue, I have been doing a few hypnosis recordings lately, which you might be interested in. I did one yesterday for tinnitus relief. A day before, bruxism. I did one for lupus, severe menstrual cramp, fibromyalgia, dealing with noisy neighbours. I did one for grief, and I did one for depression. So, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different subjects, as well as doing a one for sleep as well. So I've been quite busy. I mean, what's that? 12th, 11th, 10th, 9th, 8th. Okay, so yeah, I did quite a few in a row. So just to let you know, they're available. I've also got a Facebook group, which is Jason Newland's Boring Group, which you could join if you like. There are... oh, I don't want that. What am I doing? There's a link on my website, jasonnewland.com, which will take you directly to the group. And that, my dears, my darlings, my sweethearts, my chooty kabooty badoody, is that's done. Right. Someone asked me, a few people have asked me, if I would consider doing erotic hypnosis recordings. don't know what you think about that. Yeah, a few people have actually contacted me over time saying that they don't necessarily always listen to my recordings for relaxation or for sleep. It's like, okay. Anyway, Vikings. I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of running out of ideas. Well, not ideas, never run out of ideas, but just subjects for these Trivia Tuesday. But Vikings is today. If you have any like particular ideas that I could do a Trivia Tuesday on, a subject, then, let me know. There is a contact form on my website, if you like. So, Vikings came from Scandinavia. Oh, I just want to say, I think about 3 years ago, I watched the Vikings TV show. Like, I loved it. Honestly, I watched like every single episode from the beginning to the end. Absolutely loved it. Now, like all TV shows, no matter how good they are, they have a tendency, I find, of stretching out a little bit, really, starting to add a bit more filler. And this does that a little bit near the end, but it's okay. Well, dog in the background, but that's fine. So I think I learned quite a lot about the Vikings, but I don't know how much of it was true. And I think it was made on the History Channel. It was shown on the History Channel, so I don't know how much truth there is. And I also do not know if these 100 fascinating Viking facts are indeed facts. So, try not to get into an argument with anyone. And never use the words, but Jason said so. That won't hold any gravy, I'm afraid. So, Vikings, I wouldn't even trust myself with a fact. I don't even believe myself. Now, Vikings came from Scandinavia, modern day Denmark, Norway and Sweden. So does Scandinavia not exist anymore then? I know Denmark and Norway and Sweden do. Was it all just one place? See, I don't know these things. I wasn't around then. In Old Norse, Viking originally meant pirate raid or expedition. Now, there was a TV show on Netflix, probably still on there, which makes fun of the Vikings. Let me see. Funny Viking show. Okay, Norsemen. So, Norsemen, Norsemen, on Netflix, 3 seasons. I know comedy obviously is, we've all got our own idea what we like, but I found it very funny. However, at the same time, there's parts of it that are really horrible, because they still try to stick to the real mythology of the Vikings' lifestyle and behaviour. But the dialogue is very funny. So it's worth watching if you like funny things, and maybe if you've not seen... Because this is something, my friend Luke, we didn't really have the same sense of comedy when it came to watching TV shows. I'm a bit more wider. I'm a bit more wider. That sounds weird. Yeah, I like all kinds of comedy. He was very much more into British comedy. What didn't really like American sitcoms. I've never understood that way of thinking, but it's just how he was. So, which is fine. I like all kinds of comedy. So I like some stuff that he liked, but I said to him, "You like this Viking, this Norseman," and I got it up. He was sitting there with me, and I got it up on the TV. This is like 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and he just said, "Looks like a pile of crap to me." That's what he said. Like, no, I'm watching that. I said, "But it's not American." He said, "Why have you got the idea that I don't like American comedy?" I said, "Because you don't seem to like anything that's American." He said, "Well, I like Only Fools and Horses." I said, "Yeah, which is not American." He said, "Yeah, I didn't say it was." He really used to try and wind me up. And I just said, like, okay, well, just watch it. Just have a... Well, I showed him a little bit at the very beginning. It's a really funny bit. Even if it was just a sketch in a comedy show, it's funny because of the dialogue. I mean, I find it funny because of the dialogue. Because it's just absurd. And I love absurdity. And also almost introducing reality to a situation, which makes it kind of takes the blinkers off a bit. Like, look at what we're doing. This is ridiculous. This is really, really silly. So, and he smiled, but he said, "Nah, can't bother with that." I didn't see him for the weekend. He'd watched the whole 2 series of it over the weekend. He loved it, absolutely loved it, and he kept watching it back. Like, over the years, he was watching it. He absolutely loved it because it was funny. It was really, and he introduced all his friends to it, and none of them wanted to watch it. It's weird. It's like trying to get someone to like something that I like. I don't know why I even bother, really, because we all like our own things, don't we? However, I don't want someone to tell me, "Oh, you got to watch this. You should watch this because this is brilliant." Well, I don't mind people doing that, but in fact, I quite like that because I'm always looking for something new to sort of get addicted to when it comes to TV or movies and stuff. A TV show, something I can really get my teeth into and watch every single episode of all 10 seasons or whatever. That to me, that gives me a lot of happiness, which is very strange, I think, but I get more from that than from being around people. It's almost like I've got something to look forward to. I get really into it. So I don't know what, this is not funny. I'm just laughing for the sake of it. Hey, we should laugh more. Come on. I had a girlfriend once. It's true. It's hard to believe, but I did. This is 20 years ago, and I remember I was making her laugh. I'm quite a funny boyfriend. I would say probably you might not wake up the next morning feeling physically and emotionally satisfied, but I will make you laugh. Okay, you won't feel fulfilled, but I will make you'll have a giggle, even if it's just me taking off my shirt or whatever, my gloves. My Vinny started to notice all the screaming out the back. It sounds to me, which I hope it is, to be fair, it sounds like there's like kids having a party, probably in a garden over the road or whatever, and they're all like jumping into swimming pools and stuff, like, you know, paddling pool, and they're having a great time. I hope that's why they're screaming, because sometimes it puts me on guard a little bit, like, are they okay? So I'm hoping that's the reason, because, you know, that's the thing. I try not to moan about hearing kids scream and being noisy, because I was the same. I was a kid once, believe it or not, and I had three brothers, so we made a lot of noise in that garden, and I probably screamed a lot as well. I still do sometimes. Especially there's a dog in the park called Minnie, and she's off the lead, and she always runs up to me because she gets excited because I give her treats. So she runs up to me, but she does it from behind quite often, and I scream because it just makes me jump. The other day, I came out of my front door because I was going to meet someone, and they were already there. Honestly, like, like, what are you doing? And I said to him, how long have you been standing there? Because he phoned me up, and then I went, you know, said, I'm on my way. I said, okay. I was going to meet him downstairs. And he said, no, I've just got it. And I thought, you're lying to me. You've just been standing there the whole time. But actually, I looked on the camera, and he literally just got to the front door as I opened it. Weird. I tell you what's stranger, which has got probably not so much to do with Vikings as you'd think, but I used to live in, while I was at college, there was this, I lived in this bungalow. It wasn't a bungalow, it was a cottage, and I lived downstairs in the kind of, I guess it was some kind of extension that I lived in. But I lived in one of the rooms. And I moved in November 2007, and I moved out January 2011. So I was there for over 3 years. Yeah, it is, isn't it? 8, 9, 10. So I was over 3 years I was there. No, was it January, or was it January, February, March, maybe April. March, April time, 2011. And what was I going to say? Distracted by the sounds outside. Yes, I was there for 3 years, over 3 years. I mean, what, November, December, January, February, March, so 3.25 years. It's quite a long time. And the daughter that lived there, and she was, blimey, probably 30, because I was, 40 by the time I moved out. So she was probably about 30. So I was like 27, 28, 29, 30 when I was 37, 38, 39, 40. And the amount of times that I'd walk in from the back, that's where my room was, and the bathroom, and I'd walk into the kitchen, because I shared the kitchen with them. I'd walk in and she'd jump. Or she'd walk into the room and I'd have my back to her, just using the microwave or whatever, and she'd jump. But she'd like sort of scream, not scream, but like, it made me jump. I said, I've lived here for 45 years. Get used to me, man. Okay, I didn't say that, but I did say, look, I've lived here for years now. Like 2.5 years. Why are you still jumping when you see me? She said, because you're naked. No, she didn't say that. But she did constantly, like, jump. I don't know why. Considering they had lodgers, I think, for decades, on and off. That was a little way of them getting a little bit of money coming in. They had 2 rooms, and they only rented out to students generally. So they had that extra income coming in, which I imagine really helped quite a bit actually over the years, because what was I paying? £65 a week. So it's £130 a week between the two rooms. So yeah, that's like 60 grand over 10-year period or so. You know, it's probably paid for holidays and stuff. I don't know. None of my business, is it really? Why you keep asking? Stop past. I'm playing on my belly button. I shouldn't really tell you that, but I don't know why. I'm just amazed at some of the things I find down there. So, but check that TV show out, Norseman, if you want to. Or let me know if there's any really, really good, like really good TV shows which have now completed that I can watch from start to finish. I've watched a lot, but I'm kind of in that midway now of like, well, I don't know what to watch next. And the last thing I really got into, was Silo, and there was only two series of that. I don't know if they're going to do another one, but I really got into that, and yeah, absolutely loved that show. I would have been much happier if there'd been 6 or 8 series, so I could have watched the whole, you know, from start to finish. But it's okay. Apparently here it says they didn't usually call themselves Vikings. They identified by their homeland or clan. Okay. Because Norse, I suppose, because it was... Denmark, Norway, Norse. Is Norway Norse? Are you a Norse if you live in Norway? Or if you're born in Norway? Huh. So Viking may also relate to Vig or Vic, meaning bay or creek where ships anchored. That's boring. Viking society included influences from Slavic and other neighbouring cultures. I get the impression that, unlike the Romans, who seem to just pretty much take over where they went, the Vikings would just visit temporarily. Not all the time, but they'd take what they wanted and maybe stick around for a while and learn some new stuff and, you know, introduce it to their own kind of way of life. And I'm talking about that without any knowledge or whatsoever about anything. Ships were clinker built. Planks overlapped for flexibility and strength. Does anyone know what the word clinker built means? Because I don't. Long ships had shallow drafts, allowing beach landings and river travel. Anyone? No? Okay. Cargo ships could carry up to 24 tons. This is very... I know it's trivia, but this seems to me like very factual. I'm getting bored reading it out. So here we go. Large longships could carry 60 or more warriors. Ship types including skeeds and nechas, snickers for warfare. Famous finds include Gokstad and Osseberg ships. Dragon heads on ship prows were meant to intimidate enemies, and ships were status symbols as much as a tool of war or trade. None of this is funny. I wanted some funny stuff. Maybe there's nothing funny about. Let's see if I've got any other stuff. Let's have a look. Viking may also derive from a term meaning sea mile or work related to ships. Okay, I'm going to change this. Right. Okay. Well, the internet doesn't need to like that. I said, find me some funny stuff, and it's not. Fair enough. Funny facts. Right, okay. Viking. This is what I want. These are 10 funny and odd Viking facts. This is what I want. And I want to know about women could own property and divorce their husbands. So that's the Vikings. That wasn't even allowed in this country till about 50 years ago. That's crazy, isn't it? No, just how slow we are, I mean. Some Viking women travelled on raids or trades. They do have that on the show. It seemed to be that there was two type of Vikings. Just this is going to be me basing on what I remember. There was the farmers and the warriors. So the ones that had a farm, and that seemed to be the way to, if you did really well, you'd get given a bit of land, and you could have a farm there and retire doing that, or maybe you'd be born into farming and that's what you'd do. Children learned farming. Adoption was a common practice to strengthen alliances. I'm sure that they used to adopt from other tribes or other people, so to sort of almost like marrying in to the, like France, the King of France marrying a princess of Germany or something like that. That kind of things that used to go on. I think it was a little bit like that, so it kind of kept the peace between them. So they would perhaps adopt. Wealth was measured in livestock as well as silver. Jewellery often served as currency, and they told epic poems to preserve history, which is why so much of it is probably lies, made up. I love the way, so many of the most classed as the most important books and stuff in human society were from like thousands of years ago, and the books weren't written thousands of years ago. They were passed down verbally for thousands of years. And people take it as verbatim. that is correct. Yet if you put 12 people in a circle and whisper to each other something and say pass it on, you'll get a different message at the end of it. You know, it's a paragraph, let's say, you know, not just like booby or hazelnuts. You know, if it's you know, that you could probably remember that. But if it was like an actual he had green hair and he came down from the mountain and he said everyone must now have green hair in order to be reborn as a fresh goblin. I don't know, something, you know, magical like that. And you just pass that on. Whether it's 12. I mean, you think, okay, one person, there's 12 people. One person equals, what, 100 years? In you know, 100 years. Or one generation of person passing it down to the next generation. How many generations would there be in 2,500 years? Quite a few. It's going to be something different. You're going to get a different story at the end of it. Hopefully, maybe you'll get the same meaning of the story. I don't know. But things weren't written down. There wasn't anyone there taking notes. Like, can you stop? Wait a minute. What did you just say? Can you say it again? You're speaking too quick. It wasn't someone with a typewriter. That'd be annoying, wouldn't it? Typewriters were so loud. The Viking Age ended around 1066, marked by the Battle of Stamford Bridge. Okie doke. Alright, let's go back. Let's go and find some. So Vikings bleached their beards. Green, of course. I don't know if it's green. Not for Fashion Week, but to kill lice. Oh! Right. So they I suppose bleach is bleach a disinfectant? I don't know. They used to name their swords. Okay, that makes sense, though, doesn't it? Come here, Pee-wee. Come here, Pee-wee. I suppose what kind of sword it is, I suppose. Excalibur. I never understood why they named it Excalibur, because I found that a difficult word to say when I was a kid. And I realised the book, you know, the story of King, whatever his name was, wasn't written just for me, King Charles. But come on, Excalibur. It was a real mouthful. I can say it now. Perhaps I've always been able to say it. Maybe that wasn't the word I was thinking of. Thesaurus. What? That's a hard word. Thesaurus. It's a weird word. I don't know. Dictionary. That's. Where do they come up with these words? Goat-powered alarm systems. Farms sometimes tied goats near their house so that if raiders came at night, the goats would panic and bleat, effectively making them Viking burglar alarms, which is true, isn't it? Isn't that what people do when they're camping in a place where there's bears? Why would you? But hey, some people would go camping in a place where there's wild bears roaming around. Why would you? I repeat again. and they put like bells and tins and stuff around the tent, as if hearing it coming is going to help you in some way. I mean, why? One more time, why? Why would you? That's one of the good things about living in this country, is we don't have bears. We don't have lions, other than in the zoo. We don't have that stuff in the wild. I mean, we do. I suppose there are wild cats that are probably, well, that are bigger than the average. And I think it was parts of Scotland, or was it Wales? I think it was Scotland, where the government were intending to reintroduce wolves. Okay. I didn't really understand. I mean, that's like, let's introduce poisonous snakes as well. I mean, why? I mean, this is a relatively safe country when it comes to wildlife. I think the only animals really got to be a little bit careful of, well, probably a lot careful of, is cattle, because they can be, you know, if you're going through a field and there's a cow or a bull or even a horse. I know a horse isn't cattle, but you know, if they decide they take a dislike to you being in their home, in their place, then, you know, it's not a great place, a situation for you to be in. I think I got chased by a bull once. I can't remember. Yeah, I think I was a little bit too fast for it though, and I was very close. I kind of climbed over the fence, and I saw it, and I climbed back over the fence again. I'm not sure how fast I could move these days, but I was only a kid. And I went home and told everyone that I just won against a bull. And they came and saw it. Everyone was like excited to see this bull that I defeated, and it turned out it was a rabbit. But it doesn't matter, you know, I still won. They used a poop-based insult. No, I can't stand that kind of insulting. People using poo-based stuff. So in sagas, calling someone noingy, cowardly, was bad, but skitcast, literally meaning throwing poop, was worse. Yes, poo flinging was both a reality and an insult. They used to chuck poo. Whose poo? Their poo? Did they have it already in a bag? Walk around with bags of poo. That's weird. God, they must have stunk. They had a game called Natuluk, and the rules are unclear, but shoving, tackling and accidentally bone breaking were apparently part of it. Basically Viking rugby without a ball. So basically a fight, really. They loved combs, apparently, Vikings. Archaeologists keep finding combs in Viking graves, suggesting that grooming was serious business. So I suppose, I mean, I had long hair. I used to have long hair. A comb was almost impossible for me to put through it. I used a brush, but putting a comb through my hair was because I had such curly hair. If they had fine hair, although I suppose when the hair's wet it's easier for the comb to go through, but quite often what I'd have to do is I'd have to crunch up my hair and put a comb through the end, so that it didn't pull on the roots and it didn't hurt. One saga tells of a berserker, deserter or berserker, biting his own shield, supposedly to psych himself up. I don't know. I mean, the shields were probably made of wood, weren't they? Not metal. I tell you what I noticed. When I was at school, when I was a kid, went into some of these places to see Vikings, the Normans, the Romans, the various different people that basically raided and invaded my country over history. Lots and lots of places, lots and lots of people. I mean, I actually live in a Roman town. This used to be the capital of the country, this town, or this now a city, but there's no different. I get the words out in a minute. When the government decide a town is a city, do you know what happens? Nothing. Nothing happens. Nothing at all. It makes no difference. I don't know if they do it based on the amount of people that live there. But there's a big difference between cities in this country. So there's one big city in the whole of this country, and that's London. There's lots of other cities, but that's, no other city has what London has. I'm not saying it's better than anywhere else, because obviously it's not, because I know for a fact that so many of my listeners are from other parts of the country, and I love you. I love you so much. Especially, in fact, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to have a quick statistic break, okay? You might think, oh, but don't worry about it. Stop moaning. Right. Look at this, right? Geolocation. United Kingdom, just the last 30 days. Newcastle upon Tyne, 554 downloads just in the last 30 days from Newcastle upon Tyne, 547 in Bristol, 186 in Birmingham, London 82. So, I'm definitely not sort of like, oh, London's so great, even though I did live there for 12 years when I was born there, but I'm not saying that, because Bristol's also a city, as is Birmingham, as is Leeds, as is Nottingham, as is Hull, I think. And where else have we got a city? For some reason, Manchester's not on here. No one in Manchester likes me. I'm upset about that. Just love me. I just want to be loved. Can't you love me, Manchester? No one in Manchester listens to my recordings, according to this. That's weird. Southampton, that's a city as well, I think. Chester, I think that's a city. Chiswick, Bolton. Bolton's a city, isn't it? Actually, I've got people in London. It's just different parts of London. So Hackney, Greenwich, Newham, Camden. So there's quite a few parts of London that people are listening to me. Wembley. That's one of my biggest. Yeah, so it's just, I don't know why it's got London on its own. I guess that must be the city of London, maybe. Oh, I don't know. Scotland, my biggest place listener is Glasgow. So, who in Newcastle listens to me? Send me some messages. Come on, give me some messages, some comments. You don't have to post them on Facebook. You don't have to do anything, but you can post them on my website if you want. Just send me a contact message and just say who you are and where you're listening from. How wonderful I am. Glasgow, Edinburgh, Grangemouth, Dundee. So, what about Wales? Where are we with Wales? Caldicot. That's the most popular place in Wales, people listening to me. Wrexham, Barry, Chepstow. Northern Ireland, Belfast, Ballymena, Dungannon. And if we go to America, so California, there's a top. And the top of California is Los Angeles and then Mountain View. So if you're in Los Angeles and you listen to me, let me know. If you're in Mountain View, let me know. Mississippi and Santa Ana. Santa Ana? Yeah, Santa Ana, Napa. Why have I heard of Napa? Napa. What does Napa do? Is that where they launched the spaceships into space? Napa. Is it? Oh, I don't know. I don't know why I've got that in my brain. So what other places? So that's California, Texas, San Antonio, and North Richland Hills. So if you're in them places, maybe let us know. Houston, Waxahachie. Okay. And that's the 4th most popular place in Texas to people watching me, listen to me rather. You've got Dallas, Alice. There's a lot of places. I tell you what, El Paso. Isn't that where they did Breaking Bad? El Paso. I've got to visit America. I need some security, but I've got to visit because I'm going to be going there from a place where we don't have any protection here. We don't have any guns or anything, and I'll be going to a place with lots of guns. I need someone that can be my bodyguard. We've got Maryland, we've got Potomac. Anyone in Potomac? So if you're in America, Bel Air, 5. Oh, so wow. Where else? Utah, Florida. I thought California was Florida. That just shows how ignorant I am, doesn't it? My ignorance astonishes me. I don't know what to do with myself sometimes. So Florida, Plant City, that's the main one. Miami, Jacksonville, Venice. Is Florida near California? It is, isn't it? You got New Jersey, New York, Syracuse in New York, Floral Park, Brooklyn, New York. Why is there a New York in New York? Now this might sound like a silly question. It's a genuine question. Why is there a New York in New York when New York is New York? So in New York I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 29. So 29 places in New York. I don't know if they're cities or towns, but Futon, Staten Island. People listen to me from Clifton Park, the Bronx, Rochester, Newark, Queens, Buffalo. But New York. New York is New York. Is that why this song is New York, New York? So good they named it twice. I don't know. Someone educate me, please. Nevada, Las Vegas. Oh, I've got someone. I've got a fan in Las Vegas. Someone listens to me regularly there. Hello, whoever you are. And then what other place is there? South Dakota. Hello. Wyoming. A few people. Vermont. Rhode Island. Idaho. Alaska. Alaska. Isn't that where it's the North Pole? Idaho. Kansas. New Mexico. Hawaii. One of the greatest theme tunes ever, I think. Absolutely loved that. I've got to stop because I'll keep doing it. Indianapolis, Indiana, Georgia, Richmond Hill, Alabama, Abbotsville, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, loads of places. Wow, Kentucky, Louisville, I've got a regular listen to me from there. Massachusetts, Cambridge, South Carolina, Lexington, okay, Ohio, West Chester, Arizona, here we go, Phoenix. So I've got a regular listener in Phoenix, Gilbert, Mesa, Tucson, Scottsdale, Page, Tolleson, Queen Creek, Yuma, Goodyear. So if you're listening from that areas that I'm mentioning, give me a cheer. Yay! I just find it interesting where people are from. What other country? Let's go to a different country now. Let's go to... So the United States, I get the most listens. Then United Kingdom. Then Australia. So Victoria is Melbourne. I get the most in Victoria. New South Wales, Sydney. Also got Central Coast, Albury, etc. Queensland, I got Brisbane, which is the most place people, the most listens. You got Rosalie Plains, Sunshine Coast. South Australia, Adelaide, that's the most there. And Tasmania is Hobart and Launceston. And then Western Australia, Perth is the main one. Okay, cool. So after that, we've got Canada, Ontario. So Toronto. If you're in Canada, give me a shout out. Maybe send me a message. That's the most listened place. It's in Toronto. Then you've got Hamilton, Pickering, St Thomas, Baden, Niagara Falls. I thought Niagara Falls was... Oh, that's loud, isn't it? I thought Niagara Falls was in America. This is a genuine question. Does Niagara Falls kind of meet with America? Is that kind of where you can walk through and go to Niagara Falls, but it's part of America and part of Canada? It's kind of like always in a completely different place. The reason I ask that is because my only real experience of Niagara Falls was the Superman movie. I don't know if it was the first one or the second one. I think it was the first one. The very first Superman movie. And with Christopher Reeve. Yeah, and so they were at Niagara Falls. Now, I just assumed that at the time, because I was only a youngster at the time. I assumed it was in America, and then just now I realised I found out I was in Canada. I don't know. I'm not saying I've always thought it was in America, but I did. No, I did. I kind of knew where it was now, but I just wonder if it's kind of on the threshold. Because, like, in Scotland, so you've got Wales, and you've got other parts. So I'll give you an example. Oh, wait a minute. Have I done all the... I'll just go British Columbia, Campbell River, okay, and quite a few others, Alberta, Calgary, so if you're in Alberta, anywhere, Quebec, wow, Montreal, I've got people listening in Montreal, hey, loads of places, honestly, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different places where people are listening to me from. Winnipeg, New Brunswick, Edmundston, Saskatchewan. Wasn't there a place called Saskatchewan in America? I'm thinking there was. I really am thinking there was. So I'm thinking, ooh, okay, that's confusing. New Brunswick, Edmundston, St. John, okay. Sasquatch. See, that's confusing, right? It's a New Brunswick. So sketch. Okay, right, got it. Where did I see Saskatchewan? Quebec, no? Winnipeg. Oh, I'm getting confused now. So in Scotland, there's a part, or no, in Wales, sorry, there's a part which is kind of English and Wales. There's like places that are just kind of on the border, because we're in this country, we're a tiny little country, tiny little island. Can't call ourselves a country, can we? But England's a country, Scotland's a country, Wales is a country, Northern Ireland and quite a few other islands and stuff are all part of the UK. So, but we're a little island. And so the border is almost invisible between Scotland and Wales, or Scotland and England, and then England and Wales. I mean, borders are invisible, aren't they, really? Generally. Unless you've got a big wall. We're going to build a big wall. Unless you've got a big wall, it's, yeah. Strange. What are we doing? Okay. So that's, I mean, also, it's not just there. I've got Canada, I've got Malta, Ireland. Malta's so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Malta's my fourth most listened to. So people in Malta listen to me. Jazeera? What's Jazeera? Wow. Okay, so hello, anyone in Malta, and there are people, Jazeera and Kwame, are listening to me regularly. So welcome. Thank you for listening. Let me know. Ireland, France. Wow, loads of people in France listening to me. It's like, I guess, I mean, literally, Paris. There's so many people. I'm not saying this to brag, although I'm quite pleased with myself today for some reason. And if nothing else, I've got I've emptied most of my belly button during this recording. That's just wrong. I haven't. I've left some in there. Stockholm County, Sweden. So I've got quite a few places in Sweden where people listen to me. Denmark. You got Czechia. So anyone that's in Czechia, especially Prague, hello, if you're listening. Thank you for listening. Thank you to everyone for listening. Now, New Zealand used to be like fourth on the list. It used to be, I'm sort of over the years, I mean, I've been doing this nearly 20 years now, but it used to be kind of, America's always been at the top. They've always been the most, because it's a much bigger country, like especially English-speaking country, out of everywhere else, like as far as population goes. I know Canada's a bigger country, but population-wise, America's got, 360 million. We've got about 70-odd million here. Canada's got, I think, about 40 million. I might be wrong on that one, but it's Australia, probably, 60 million? New Zealand, I'm guessing, I don't know how many people in New Zealand, but New Zealand used to be like fourth because it was predominantly English-speaking countries that would be listening to me or watching me on YouTube. But I think it's really groovy that people from other countries are actually learning English so they can listen to me. So that's devotion, that people from all over the world have learnt a completely different language just so they could listen to me. And that's amazing, isn't it? Oh dear. Do you think anyone actually believes that I believe that? But I do appreciate everyone who listens. Genuinely, I got bored of the Viking stuff. I'm sorry. There wasn't a lot coming up with that. Dubai, United Arab Emirates. So you got Dubai. So if you're in Dubai, hello, hi. Abu Dhabi. I'd like to come visit Dubai. I have actually visited once, but I only got as far as the airport because it was a stopover. I mean, legally, I wasn't allowed out of the airport, so I wasn't going to be getting out. But I don't know. If you get to a stopover at an airport, let's say you're on the way to Thailand from England, and you stop over and you stop off at Sweden, for example, or Dubai. If you ask permission and say, I've decided I want to stay here for a bit and get in a hotel, and I want to sort of perhaps travel around Sweden, and because I've heard that it's an amazing place, or I want to stop and hang around in Dubai and meet the amazing people there, whatever. Would they allow it? I don't know. I suppose it depends upon visas, doesn't it? I wonder if anyone's ever done that. I wonder if you could just walk out. Because if you didn't have if all you had was your hand luggage, which is what I do, I don't take luggage if I go on a plane, I just take my hand luggage. So if you've only got your hand luggage, then I wonder if you could just leave the airport and just, I don't know, just go and have a look around that way. Because on the way back from Thailand, like many years back, the stopover coming back was Sweden. Yeah, it was Sweden. And it was really, I've never seen so many blonde people before. It was really weird. It's like, we have blonde people in England, but they don't normally congregate. We keep them apart. No, we don't. it was just weird. Like every single person that I saw in the airport, very small airport, for the bit that I was in, all blonde. It was like, wow. Because I'm not sure if I've really met many Swedish people. I probably have met a couple. I've met a lot of people from different countries. This is when I lived in London. I've met people from pretty much every country in the world, I reckon, at some point, and worked with them as well, because I've had so many different jobs over the years. So I've worked with people from everywhere, even if it was just for a day. I don't remember, and I've dated quite a few people a long time ago, but they were people from, ladies from, I think, let's have a look. What countries have I dated ladies from when I was a younger man? The United Kingdom. Never dated anyone from Australia, although I did kind of go on a date with someone from Australia, but that was as far as it got. Not Canada. Not Malta. Ireland. I dated someone from Ireland. Never dated anyone from France or Sweden. Denmark I did. Czechia, I don't think so. New Zealand, no. United Arab Emirates, no. Spain, kind of dated a lady from Spain in the 90s. Norway, yes. Russia, no, but I had a couple of quite good friends from Russia. A man and he was a professor, he was a psychiatrist, and his wife, and they came over and they were working in a comedy club, just waitering and stuff, and I got on really well with them, like really well. Lovely people. I was supposed to visit them, but just never got around to it. Greece, I kind of dated someone that was from Greece once. Germany, yeah, dated someone from Germany. Mexico, not that I know of. I don't think so, no. South Korea, no. Israel, no, don't think so. Japan, no. South Africa, yes. Myanmar, Myanmar. What did that used to be? It used to have a different name, didn't it? I don't know what. I'm confused now. Algeria? I don't think so. I'm not sure. Malaysia? No. Thailand, yeah. The thing is, I know that there are people listening right now that are living in China. So everyone say hi. It's a big shout out if you're from China. Now, it's not going to be listed on here because the only way people from China can listen to me is by using one of those, I don't know what they call them, DNS things, which, is it DNS? It basically allows you to use the internet and it makes it out that you're from a different country. Yeah, because I think clearly Russian don't have an issue. Their internet's fine. I've got people from all over Russia listening to me, but I think China, their internet doesn't. I've been told that I've actually had people contact me and tell me that they listen through what's it called? It's like an internet thing where you change it so it looks like you're based in America or in Canada or somewhere, which means then you can view stuff in America or in the UK, or maybe they put down there in London and they can then listen to my recordings. I mean, it just feels nice that people are going to all that effort in order to listen to me. So I appreciate. I'm not sure if there is anyone, but yeah, I do appreciate anyone that's listening to me. It's been a while since I did the stats. I'm quite excited by it. What I haven't done though, is SoundCloud. See, I've done the Spreaker stats. I don't know what the stats are on my website because I don't get stats on there for some reason. But the stats for my website, for my SoundCloud, sorry. If I look at the top locations, Melbourne, the countries, United States of America is number 1. This is on my SoundCloud thing. Australia's number 2, then United Kingdom's number 3, Germany, Canada, Mexico, Czech Republic, Philippines, New Zealand, Singapore, Spain, France, India, Ukraine, Netherlands, Micronesia, Federal States of, Portugal, Vietnam, Italy, Japan, Turkey, Ethiopia, Belgium, Norway, Brazil, Hong Kong, Kosovo, Egypt, Russian Federation, Ireland, Georgia, Sweden, Morocco, Kuwait, Panama, Israel, Indonesia, Iraq, Lithuania, Chile, Sudan, Mongolia, Latvia, Lao People's Democratic Republic, Poland, South Africa, Taiwan, Province of China. Oh, look. Virgin Islands, US, Greece. And the top, I mean, this is like the last 30 days, so if I go for the top ones, Melbourne, I'm going to guess Molly. Molly, do you live in Melbourne? Molly's the boss of the Facebook group, Jason Newland's Boring Group. This has turned into a real chat, hasn't it? It's been quite nice. Just a real chit-chat. I know, started off, let's all talk about Vikings, and I know you was probably really excited, like, you waited your whole life to hear me talk about Vikings, but I don't know. And then I moved into stats and went, but I think it's been a bit more interactive. I feel like I've included you instead of just talking at you. Maybe I haven't. Maybe it's all in my mind, like so many other things. Melbourne. So I think Molly. But it won't just be Molly because there's been way too many. Unless Molly is playing my recordings continuously 24 hours a day on about 50 different mechanical things, then it wouldn't just be Molly. But I'm thinking that seems to be the top. So Melbourne, these are the cities. Boardman, Phoenix, the Boardman's second, it's in America. Phoenix is third, Chicago's fourth, Falkenstein, which is Germany, that might be Sebastian, I don't know. Toronto and Oakland, so Toronto's Canada, Oakland and Portland, then that's America, then Ensenada, which is Mexico, then Prague, which is Czech Republic, then the rest, these was America, so Sterling, New York, Ashburn, Portage, Manuka. Manuka, isn't that a honey? Alfrepreta. I wonder if is that where the honey's from, maybe? I don't know. Columbus and Kingsport. Then you got Bradford. Wow, all those until we suddenly get to somewhere from England. So SoundCloud doesn't seem to be listened to by people from England so much. Bradford. Then Turanga, which I do believe is New Zealand, yes. New Zealand? Yeah, New Zealand. Commerce. So here's a bit of a weird fact about me. I did used to study flags. I got quite excited by them. It was a short period in my life, but it happened. I basically had a book of flags, and for some reason it stimulated my brain. Turanga, so that's then you've got Commerce. Tusina City, that is Tusina City. I'm trying to memorise the flag. For some reason, it's hiding from me. Philippines. No, Lucena City is the Philippines. It is the Philippines. Cool. Camden, which is America, not the UK Camden. Las Cruces and Arlington, America. London, then America again. San Jose and Kalamazoo. Wasn't that the name of a band in the 80s? Kalamazoo. Then you got Luton and Altrincham in England. Fresno in America. Oldham in the UK. There's so many. Frankfurt am Main, which I'm pretty sure is Germany. Just the fact that it says Frankfurt is a clue, isn't it? And then you got, is that a sausage, isn't it? Frankfurt, that's what it stands for. Sausage. Texarkana, Richardson, Dublin, Stockton, Morristown and Denton. That's all America. Manchester is England. Milwaukee and Yonkers is America. Then you've got North York, which is Canada, yeah. North York. Oh, Ammon. Don't know. Let's have a look. That is Jordan. It's in Jordan. Ammon is in Jordan. If it's not, please forgive me, but I'm trying to skip around and find the different flags. Then you've got Leeds and Chipping Norton, Aurora, Ariola, I don't know. Liverpool, Paris and Olympia. That's where Zeus lives. So yeah, I've got quite a few places. Wow. And that's just SoundCloud. So there's quite a few different in Russia I've got Murmansk, Moscow, Archangelichnia, Cheblansk. I'm not going to try and pronounce it. I don't want to upset anyone. Chelyabinsk Oblast, Komova Oblast, Samurat Oblast, Amur Oblast, Buryatia Republic, Krasnoyarsk Krai, Novosibirsk Oblast, Lviv Oblast, St. Petersburg. I think that's where my dad went. My dad went and visited Russia many years ago. Sverdlovsk Oblast, Yaroslavl Oblast, other. See, what my dad's done is, as he's retired, or when he retired, he decided he wanted to travel, because he didn't really get a chance to travel when he was, because he went from raising us to then he basically, his first marriage, he had 3 kids. And then his second marriage, he had another kid. And then his third marriage, he had 2 young kids already there, if you know what I mean. So he was sort of, couldn't really sort of get away, I suppose, like go on abroad holidays until he retired. And yeah, he's really made the most of it. He's been quite a lot of places. I think it's brilliant. Kind of, I'm starting to think for myself about how I'd like to proceed in the future for my, my own kind of life. I really fancy going on cruises, because I think I could do it and do my recordings while I was on the cruise. And then I'd have something to talk about as well, because I'd be going on excursions, and there'd be all kinds of weird things happen, I suppose, over time. It'd just be nice to go on a few cruises a year, travel the world, and have, take my microphone with me and just talk and go through what's happening, and it'd be brilliant. I'd love to do that. I mean, I know I couldn't do it all the time because of the little one here, but I've got someone. He's got his mummy he can stay with for a couple, a week or 2 at a time. So I could go away a couple of times a year on a cruise, even if it was just around these shores. It'd just be nice to have something to. I've always liked cruise ships or ships, going across the channel. And that's as far as I've done on a ship, is just go to France or to Amsterdam or to Belgium or to Ireland. That's the 4 places I've been on ships. But I did Belgium, did that trip 3 times, I think. I did the Ireland trip twice. I went to Paris as well, France. What did I say? So, Belgium. What's the next one? France. The next one, Amsterdam. The next one, Ireland. That was it, isn't it? It's only 4. Did I say another one before that? I can't remember. I don't think I've been anywhere else. Oh no, Isle of Man. Isle of Man. So it was still a ferry. It was still Isle of Man. I'm trying to think if I've ever been anywhere else. I think that's it. Ireland. I include Ireland, didn't I? So it's 5. I've been on 5 ferries, 5 ferry journeys, different destinations, that is. So Belgium, France, Ireland, in order. I'm just trying to think. Ireland, Amsterdam, Isle of Man. I haven't been on a ferry in 21 years. I don't think. Have I? No, I don't think I have. I mean, yeah, no. So it's 5 different destinations on a ferry. And what have I been on a plane? Spain, Bulgaria, Thailand. Anywhere else? That's it. So basically, I have technically been to... I mean, Isle of Man isn't a different country because it's part of the UK. Mind you, Scotland's a different country and that's part of the UK. So I'm confused. Is Isle of Man a different country? Because it's a different island. There is sea between us, as there is with Ireland. And I don't think the news say the island of Ireland anymore. They went through a period when they kept saying the island of Ireland. And I love well, I don't love it actually, but the way the news tries to educate the population. For years, and I'm talking years and years and years, as far back as I remember, Kiev, like chicken Kiev, the food that people have, and the place was called the same. We called it Kiev. And then a couple of years ago, 3 years ago maybe, I don't know, the news channels decided, they started off calling it Kiev, and then they changed it. It said Kiev. It's Kiev, like they've done with Hyundai. It took years to learn that word. Now it's Hyundai or something. It's like, no. At least Lidl gave up on it. They gave up on us. Because this country, we are very proud of our ignorance. And we don't like getting told what to say or how to pronounce words. We don't like getting told what to do. And we're not going to change. It's one of our idiosyncrasies, maybe. Idiosyncrasies? Idiosyncrasies. So when Lidl came along, well, Lidl, they kept trying to tell Lidl, no, ain't doing it. We refused. And it's really weird because we didn't have to get together as a country. We just instinctively knew that we were never going to use the term Lidl. It was going to be Lidl. Sorry, Lidl, not Lidl, Lidl. And eventually, after about 25 years, they gave up. They really went on for years and years calling it Lidl, and eventually they just had to give up. And now they call it Lidl themselves on the adverts. Lidl. It costs little at Lidl. See, they've even rhymed it now in the adverts. Not that I see a lot of adverts, luckily. Yeah, Lidl. That's complicated. We can't learn. I mean, I don't know if it's just the way that English people's tongues move, but it seems to be difficult as an English person to pronounce long names. I don't know why that is. It's not through lack of attempting to, well, a little bit, but it's so you've got some countries where the names are really long, like the surname, but it's really easy for them to pronounce it. I mean, you could argue, well, it's their name, but it's not just that. It's just they're used to big, long. Well, they're not probably long to them, but they are long names, long surnames. And if I see a name, it's basically like to me it looks like a sentence that's been squashed together, that has had all the gaps taken out. And I'm like, how am I supposed to say that? Because, I don't want to say it wrongly. But I'm okay because I'm in a position where I don't learn people's names anyway. So I still call people mate. You right, mate? 20 years. I mean, I've not been around here 10 years, and I probably know 5 names. And I don't know the names. I know the name of 2 people who walk dogs. 2 people. And some people have, like, they saw me for a year and a half, and then they talk to me, and then they say, "Oh, by the way, what's your name?" So I tell them. They can't say. They call me by my name. I can't remember what they told me their name was. Because I don't. As soon as someone says, "Oh, my name is," my ears just tightly shut. I don't know why. I wish they wouldn't, but they do. They just. It's almost like an invisible finger goes into each ear, and I don't. It doesn't register. And I'm not talking about people that I'm not interested in, or people I don't like, because generally I don't talk to people I don't like. It's people I like. I mean, if I meet someone that I really like, and they tell me their name, it's gone. I don't remember it. It's just gone. It goes. There's something about remembering people's names that just disappears when I first meet them. I mean, it happened, it was really embarrassing. This is years ago, long time ago. And I had this date with a lady that worked in the supermarket. She was on cash counter, that's it. She worked on the counter, and we went on a date, and we went straight from her work. So I picked her up. Well, I didn't pick her up. I mean, I met her. I didn't have a car. I mean, I picked her up, but then I put her down again, and she said, "Can you put me down?" I said, "Okay, sorry." And we got a bus or something, so I know how to show a lady a good time. And we went out and everything like that, and we'd been chatting for ages, and then eventually kind of I built up the courage to to ask her out and stuff, and didn't want to put her on a spot. So I made sure, I didn't want to embarrass her, basically. So I made sure that the song I sung her was pretty short, had my guitar, and I thought, well, it's going to embarrass her if it's over 10 minutes long. So I did that, and it seemed to work quite well. I remember her saying to me, "I will go out with you if you just stop this now and leave." I said, "Okay." So yeah, it worked. She seemed surprised when I turned up, though. Anyway, it went quite well. In fact, you could say it went as well as it could possibly have gone. And the next morning, we were waking up, and I could not. What's weird, right, is we were both kind of in bed, and she said, "Well, I got to go to work." I said, "Okay." She said, "Shall we swap numbers?" And I said, "Cool, brilliant." And so she took my number. This is, she said this when mobile phones were around, so it was, obviously it's still a while ago, and so I gave her my number. But this is before we used to phone each other. Like you give someone your number and then they'd call you. I was literally putting a number in. We hadn't figured out that you could call someone. But maybe that's because back then it cost too much money to phone people. I don't know. I'm not sure. So I gave her my number. And I said, "Do you remember my name?" She said, "Of course I do. Elvis." But anyway, she did. She remembered my name. I thought, good. And she said, "Do you remember my name?" I said, "Yeah, of course I do." and I couldn't remember what her name was. I had no idea. It just went out of my head. I don't think it ever went into my head, but it definitely wasn't in my head at that point. And so we was just, luckily, I managed to change the subject. I think I opened the window and farted, so that definitely distracted her. So we're getting ready. She has to go out, and I'm thinking. She said, "Well, do you want to take my number?" So I did. So she's got her back to the door, to her door. I'm looking at her, and she says, "Okay, here's my number." I said, "Cool, thanks." She said, "Aren't you going to put my name into it?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "You've forgotten my name, haven't you?" Luckily, on the back of her door was her uniform, her supermarket uniform where she worked, and there was a tag, wasn't there, on there, like a badge on it, and I thought, thank goodness for that. It really saved me, honestly. I'm not proud of myself, but I said, "Of course I know what your name is." She said, "What is it then?" And she really thought, right, she had me. And I said, "Listen, of course look, we just spent a really wonderful date together last night. I've liked you for a long time. I've been coming into the shop, and we've been getting on, and I'm hoping I get to see you again, and we've clicked, and it's been a nice time, hasn't it?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Of course I know what your name is. I don't do these kinds of things unless I know someone's name. I mean, come on, what kind of person do you think I am?" And she said, "Well, what's my name then?" She wasn't giving up on it. So I looked at the tag and I said, "Of course, it's Sainsbury's. I know your name is Sainsbury's." I continue to put it into my phone, and she laughs, and then she looks at my phone and she sees that I'm actually putting in Sainsbury's into the phone. And yeah, never saw her again for some reason. She didn't call me. I don't know why. Da 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 da. So yeah, that's the end of this Trivia Tuesday, which really had, the only real trivia was just my life, wasn't it? Let's see if there's any other Vikings. The world's first helmet hair problem. They loved practical jokes, apparently. Saga account mentions swapping people's weapons for blunt ones, and as a prank. Wow, can you imagine that? You're in battle and you have to actually put your sword out, and it's just blunt. Mind you, they're heavy swords. I don't know. I mean, I've never really. I used to have a sword. I used to have a samurai sword. I mean, that had a bit of weight on it, but that was blunt. That's it, really. I could have sharpened it, but I didn't. Luckily for me. And that's it. So I'm going to go now. Thank you for listening. Remember to be kind to yourself, because you do deserve to be happy. And be gentle with yourself. You deserve to feel safe. Lots of love. Bye.